Hey y'all, welcome back to Scareticulous. Subscribe, or else. Yeah, that's a threat. And what? Let's talk prices. Pricing has been a huge discussion this year with Nintendo fans ever since the Switch 2 came out, and people balked at the price hike of games like Mario Kart World for $80, and kinda hem-hawed at DK Bananza's $70. We kinda made this face. Other prices for peripherals and such went up as well, but people are primarily focused on the game pricing and see it as unjustified since the quality of the game isn't really improving. And it's not like you're getting more bang for your buck either. The value proposition with Nintendo just isn't there like it used to be, essentially. Now, I've been a huge Nintendo fan for a long time now. Ever since I was like 5 years old and I got my first NES, I've pretty much always been a Nintendo guy. But my perspective on them has changed quite a bit since then. I'll get more into that in a bit. This conversation over prices continues with this recent Nintendo Direct, where it seems good guy Nintendo seems to have doubled down on their previous position of not just overcharging for their games, but nickel and diming us for cut content, overpriced amiibos that are just slightly bigger than their earlier counterparts, and giving us the option to pay for ridiculous failed peripherals like some kind of sick joke. I mean, these friggin' amiibos are still made of plastic. It's not like it's made of marble or something. Well, I have a theory about all this that's gonna blow your collective minds. And honestly, it's been brewing in the background for quite some time now, even underneath our very noses, in fact. I'm kinda shocked I didn't think of it sooner, actually. First, let's get the main facts out of the way. Sure, Nintendo is thriving right now with the Switch and the Switch 2, but it wasn't always that way. They were doing pretty damn poorly just 2 generations ago with the Wii U. And it was probably their biggest flop console since, well, ironically, the Virtual Boy. Okay, maybe not that bad, but at least as bad as the GameCube era in terms of sheer sales numbers. The GameCube did pretty crappy sales-wise and seemed content losing the console wars at the time. Then came the Wii, which was pretty much a smash success that shook up the entire industry, and suddenly Nintendo's competitors started to copy their homework like Dickie Larson in math class. Fuck you, Dickie Larson. Nintendo catered a lot more to the casual audience with the Wii, hence why it was so successful. And that gave Nintendo a new perspective, not just in how they make games, but how they view us as customers. I mean, look, when we see Nintendo, we see a company we've loved for years since we were kids, that put out some of the biggest classic games ever made. But you have to understand, Nintendo's a mega corporation that is abso-freaking-lutely loaded. They see us like tiny little ants that turn a profit, and I hate to boil it down to those terms, but that's how it is. So the Wii was a very successful era for Nintendo, but infamously unpopular with their hardcore crowd. Well, we all know what happened after this. I mean, I just fucking said it. Weren't you paying attention? Like, I gotta fucking sit up here and repeat myself. After the failure of the Wii U, Nintendo realized they had to change. And so they went back to the drawing board, reconceptualized the Wii U, and made it playable anywhere. Made it sleek yet fun to pick up and play. The Switch was simple yet allowed for complexity in their games, unlike the Wii era, which was geared towards the most general dum-dum alive. Then they gave us the games we wanted, and that cemented the Nintendo is so back idea in our collective mindsets. The Switch literally trounced the competition and destroyed sales charts. Nintendo was officially back on top again, baby!
Harry! I've reached the top!
If you're a real Nintendo fan, you should be panicking at this point. Then something else happened. Can anyone guess what it is? Well, I'll give you a little hint. It's Super Nintendo World. Yeah, I didn't think you were going to get the hint. Just walking in here with a little propeller hat on. Look kind of dumb. Just saying. Anyway, Super Nintendo World. Now I know what you're all thinking. This was one of the most exciting things to happen in Nintendo history, right? Right? Wrong. What are you, stupid? No. Here's where it all went wrong. Listen, what's the first thing you notice when you go to a theme park, besides all the long lines and crowds? Come on, say it with me, class. The prices.
Screaming kids.
That's right, the prices. You in the back that said tons of screaming kids, that's also correct, but not where I was going with this. Nice try. When you go to a theme park like Disney or Universal, you may end up paying $25 for a burger and fries, not even a drink. That's $10 extra. That probably doesn't even include the condiments. But you pay for it because you're paying more for the experience. You're paying for the privilege of being able to eat these things in a wonderful, themed place built just to entertain you. It's basically taxing you for being able to afford it in the first place. Are you starting to catch on here? You go to one of those gift shops, and I'm just going to steal some footage from other people here because I ain't going to these places. What do I look, rich? So you go to one of these gift shops and you see the prices for a Mario mug or a Donkey Kong mug. Without even looking up the prices for myself, I can tell you right now, as I'm typing this, those mugs are probably $30. And if you want a little figurine or a keychain, that's another $15 to $20 each. These are the prices you pay when you go to any major theme park in the US for something as simple to make as a cup. Now let's look at those amiibos again. See how Nintendo is making them slightly larger and more ornate to appeal to a more hardcore statue collector? But as I said before, it's just plastic. Even the majority of hardcore collectors are looking at these new prices and sneering. $50 for a Kirby amiibo? Seriously, who's gonna buy that? It's just a little round pink puffball and a star, for fuck's sake. And Mario and Rosalina being $40 each is also unbelievable, but it's not unlike the prices you might see going to Super Nintendo World. In fact, let's do some actual research here and draw up the prices for souvenirs at Super Nintendo World and test my theory. So as we can see here, the shirts, this is for an adult t-shirt, $35 a pop. You have a kid's t-shirt for $28. What a steal. A badge is $14. A lanyard is $16. Keychains, $15, just like I said. Look, a wooden sign for $30. Okay, so we have a Mario mug that's $16, but look at this. We have a tumbler for $29. A Super Nintendo World Luigi plush hat, and it's $42. Plush keychains for $16. There's a cup for $12. You might better get that one before it raises in price. What's this? Super Nintendo World Reversible Superstar and Question Block Pillow, $37. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. I'll get that right away. Look, a medium Mario plush, $35. A small Luigi plush, $22. Look at these. These are just a plushy pair of hands for $29. And then you got a blanket for $40. And then the games, except being $70. I mean, to them, to Nintendo, that's nothing. Because you see how much they charge for other stuff at their actual theme parks. And to them, it's like, well, that's about the same amount of money, you know? $40 for Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario Galaxy 2. It lines up for them. Now, as a small bonus, let's go to the Disney store and see where things either are or could be headed in the future, right? This is Walt Disney's merch store. A sweater for $41.99. You can get a light-up tumbler for $34.99. Look, a tumbler that's actually a little bit cheaper. Look at this. A velour zip jacket for women, $60. Okay, maybe the materials make it a little bit pricier, but still, you know, kind of up there. Look at this, just a little plastic hat for $25. Plush for $30, right? Let's go back to the Mario plush. $35. It's actually outpricing Disney now. So as you can see, the pricing for standard merch at Super Nintendo World is pretty overpriced, but not unlike anything you might see at Disney or Universal theme parks. This is how the pricing is at theme parks, and everyone's come to expect it, despite not being too happy about it.
But Mr. Ticulus,
you might say.
We're not at a theme park. This is just for a normal product Nintendo's putting out in regular stores.
Oh, really? You gonna sit there and pretend to know more than me? Why, you little... See, that's the distressing part here, is that Nintendo has created their own little bubble economy that exists all over the world, where they get to basically charge whatever they want for their products, whether it be games, amiibos, or controllers, because they know people, nay, you people, are gonna buy it.
What do you mean, you people?
Nintendo didn't just create a theme park, they created the future of the entertainment industry as we know it, a Nintendo industrial complex. See, when they created this theme park, it was actually an announcement that the company itself has transitioned from being a fairly niche gaming company to a multi-billion-dollar mega corporation entertainment company on the level of Netflix that stretches the world over. They're now almost as ubiquitous as Disney, and Mario is the second most recognizable character next to Mickey Mouse. Mario's 40th anniversary doesn't belong to Mario, nor does it belong to us fans. No. This is 40 years of Nintendo realizing they're now one of the most successful entertainment companies in the world, at least in the top 10. That's what Mario truly means to Nintendo. Movies, games, theme parks, their influence is worldwide, monumentally profitable and unstoppable. That's also why the new Mario movie announcement was so important to them, and it marks a turning point for the company. Fans honestly should have seen the writing on the wall with the first Mario movie. Do you really think they cast Chris Pratt, Charlie Day, and Jack Black because they're superior voice actors? I mean, they're all decent, don't get me wrong, but let's get serious here. This was Nintendo throwing their weight around. They're working with one of the most successful animation companies in the world to create one of the most successful animated movies of all time about one of, if not the, most successful gaming icons in the world. The success of the Super Mario Bros. Movie basically spelled doom for everyone else, because now it's no longer about the hardcore fan base. It's about worldwide appeal and casting the largest net. Nintendo is no longer focused squarely on us gamers anymore. They care about the big picture now, and gaming is just one aspect of that pie. So that being said, Nintendo knows that none of this whining and complaining by people online is going to put a single dent in their revenue, no matter how hard they cry. Hence why they just keep doubling down on these prices, and even going so far as to teabag us with troll announcements like the Virtual Boy revival. Yes, Nintendo is literally teabagging us now. Straight up balls in our faces. Sorry for the visual. This is Nintendo with full-on cocky, no shits given mode. We're talking sunglasses on and walking away from an explosion they just created while doing a backflip off your mom's kitchen counter and landing on a diving board and doing a 10-point somersault into a pool full of babes and beer. They will do whatever they want, when they want, because we are now living in Super Nintendo world. It's their world, we just live in it. This isn't me condoning it, it's just me seeing the writing on the wall and accepting it. So either get in or get out. The choice is yours. It kind of reminds me of the Jurassic Park films, how they turned into Jurassic World over time with the sequels. The dinosaurs started in this one little park, and now it's like a whole worldwide thing, which, as we've seen, doesn't exactly make them better, does it? If anything, it's just made them more greedy. For what it's worth, I wish it wasn't like this, and I'm sorry to anyone who may have been offended by anything I said here. I say it not out of hatred or disrespect, but because I want Nintendo to be better. I want Nintendo to respect its fans more, and more importantly, the player that has gotten them to where they're at today. Hopefully, in the second year of the Switch 2, they'll start to make up for a lot of the goodwill that's gone to waste this year. It's the players that got them to where they're at today, and it'll be the players that ultimately decide their fate. We're not powerless here, and the more we vote with our dollars, the more they'll have to start listening. The point is, as Nintendo fans, we're going to have to start making some difficult choices. I think the most distressing part of all this is Nintendo's pricing things this way because they can. Because we've made it so they no longer have to fight for our dollars. They know they'll get your money regardless. So if you're looking for someone to blame,
you need only look into a mirror.
Thanks, class, for listening to my ramblings. Now I'm going to go out and buy those new amiibos before they sell out in stores. Excuse me. Hey y'all, thanks for watching. If you want more of these kinds of videos, feel free to like and subscribe. It really helps me out. The more people like you who watch, the more the algorithm flirts with me like I'm their little boy toy. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, do me a solid. Also, I have a Patreon. If you're at all interested in supporting me that way, you could also leave super thanks on the video itself if you want to show me a little appreciation for my thoughts and stuff here. And if you like the animations, that's cool too. I'm trying to do things a little bit differently on this channel, give myself a bit of an identity. So if you like the animations, don't hesitate to tell me that, because I kind of want to do something that's different to how everyone else does it out here. Anyway, I'll see y'all next time. Have a good one.